In 1917, Halifax was a bustling port city, playing a crucial role in World War I. Ships came and went, laden with troops, supplies, and munitions. The streets were alive with the sounds of industry, chatter, and the daily hustle of a community deeply entwined with the war effort. Families went about their routines, children played in the streets, and workers toiled in factories and docks. Businesses thrived, and the city seemed to be on the threshold of a prosperous future. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, danger lurked. This was a city on the brink, unknowingly standing at the precipice of one of the most devastating disasters in history. The Halifax explosion would soon change everything, leaving an indelible mark on the city and its people. What happened on that fateful day remains a harrowing tale of mystery and devastation. To understand the magnitude of the Halifax explosion, we first need to understand the key players and the events leading up to that tragic moment. On one side, we have the SS Mont-Blanc, a French cargo ship laden with high explosives, including TNT, picric acid, and benzol. On the other side, the SS Imo, a Norwegian vessel, was set to leave the harbor en route to New York to pick up relief supplies for war-torn Belgium. The collision was a result of a series of unfortunate events and human errors. On the morning of December 6, 1917, the harbor was bustling with activity. Both ships were navigating the narrow waters of the Halifax harbor. A series of miscommunications and navigational mistakes set the stage for disaster. The SS Imo was running behind schedule and traveling at an unusually high speed. Meanwhile, the SS Mont-Blanc was entering the harbor, heavily loaded and moving cautiously. Confusion ensued as the ships attempted to communicate their movements. Whistles were blown, signaling intentions, but misunderstandings abounded. The Mont-Blanc signaled that it would pass on the starboard side, but the Imo misunderstood and continued on a collision course. Despite desperate attempts to avoid each other, it was too late. At 8:45 a.m., the SS Imo struck the SS Mont-Blanc, causing a fire on board the Mont-Blanc. The fire quickly spread, igniting the highly volatile cargo. The crew of the Mont-Blanc, realizing the imminent danger, abandoned ship and tried to warn others, but it was too late. The ship drifted towards the Halifax waterfront, burning fiercely. Within minutes, the Mont-Blanc exploded with a force that would be felt for miles around. This was the catalyst for the devastation that would follow. Now that we understand how this tragic collision occurred, we can grasp the full impact of what happened next. It's difficult to fathom the sheer scale of destruction that unfolded on the morning of December 6, 1917. At precisely 9:04 a.m., the SS Mont-Blanc, engulfed in flames, erupted in a cataclysmic explosion. The force of the blast was unprecedented, instantly transforming the bustling harbor into a war zone. The explosion generated a shockwave that flattened buildings within a 1.2-mile radius, reducing homes, businesses, and entire neighborhoods to rubble. Windows shattered up to 50 miles away, and the deafening roar of the blast was heard as far as 200 miles from the epicenter. The sheer power of the explosion was so immense that it created a tsunami, sweeping people and debris into the freezing harbor waters. The devastation was unimaginable. Nearly 2,000 lives were lost in an instant, with over 9,000 more injured, many severely. Families were torn apart, and entire communities were left in ruins. The blast's pressure wave circled the globe, a grim testament to its unmatched ferocity. In the blink of an eye, Halifax was transformed from a thriving city to a landscape of chaos and despair. The Halifax explosion wasn't merely a local disaster. It was a tragedy of global proportions, etched into the annals of history as the largest man-made explosion before the advent of nuclear weapons. As we move forward, let us remember the resilience of the people who faced this unimaginable horror and the strength they showed in rebuilding their lives and their city. While the Halifax explosion left a trail of unimaginable destruction, it also revealed the extraordinary resilience and bravery of its people. Amid the chaos, stories of survival and heroism emerged, painting a vivid picture of humanity's indomitable spirit. One such story is that of Vince Coleman, a railway dispatcher, who, upon learning about the imminent explosion, stayed behind to send a crucial warning to an incoming train, saving countless lives at the cost of his own. In the immediate aftermath, rescuers worked tirelessly amidst the ruins. Local citizens, firefighters, and soldiers united in a desperate bid to save those trapped under debris. The Halifax community, despite being crippled by the disaster, showed unparalleled courage and solidarity. International aid poured in swiftly. The city of Boston, in particular, played a pivotal role in providing medical supplies, personnel, and support. This act of kindness forged a bond between Halifax and Boston, commemorated annually with the gift of a Christmas tree from Nova Scotia to Boston. Among the survivors, there were countless tales of grit and determination. Families who lost everything found solace in each other's company, and neighbors became lifelines. Children, orphaned by the blast, were adopted by loving families, ensuring that hope persisted even in the darkest times. The Halifax explosion was a tragedy of epic proportions, but it also showcased the best of humanity. From the ashes of despair rose stories of sacrifice, bravery, and an unwavering will to rebuild. As we reflect on these personal accounts, we honor the memory of those who perished and celebrate the heroes who emerged from the rubble. Let us remember that in every disaster, there are stories of hope and resilience, reminding us of the strength of the human spirit. The Halifax explosion remains one of history's most devastating accidents, but it also raises a critical question. Could it have been prevented? As we delve deeper, we uncover a web of controversial aspects and unanswered questions. Were there warning signs that were missed? Some believe that the collision was an accident waiting to happen. The harbor master, the ship's captains, and even the Navy were all operating under extreme wartime pressures. Communication breakdowns, misinterpreted signals, and the lack of proper safety protocols created a perfect storm. Could the disaster have been avoided? Investigations followed, pointing fingers at various parties. The captain of the Mont-Blanc, the ship carrying the explosives, was scrutinized for not properly signaling its dangerous cargo. On the other hand, the captain of the Emo, the other vessel involved, was criticized for reckless navigation. But official reports were not the end of the story. Conspiracy theories began to circulate. Some suggested that negligence, or even sabotage, played a role. Was it possible that someone knew of the impending disaster and failed to act? Despite numerous inquiries and court hearings, the question remains. Was the Halifax explosion an unavoidable tragedy, or a preventable disaster marred by human error and oversight? The answers may never be fully known. What is clear, however, is that the lessons learned from this catastrophe have shaped maritime safety protocols for generations. As we reflect on these lingering mysteries, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance and the heavy cost of complacency. The Halifax explosion left an indelible mark on the city, both physically and emotionally. In the immediate aftermath, the devastation was overwhelming. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble, and thousands were left homeless. But in the face of such destruction, the resilience of the people of Halifax shone through. Relief efforts poured in from across Canada and beyond. The city of Boston, in particular, played a crucial role, sending medical teams and supplies to aid in the recovery. This act of kindness forged a lasting bond between the two cities, commemorated each year with the gift of a Christmas tree from Nova Scotia to Boston. Rebuilding Halifax was no small feat. The reconstruction efforts were swift and determined. New homes, schools, and hospitals rose from the ashes, designed with improved safety standards to prevent future tragedies. The city's infrastructure was modernized, and the waterfront was revitalized. But the physical rebuilding was only part of the story. The emotional scars ran deep. Families mourned the loss of loved ones, and the community grappled with the trauma of what they had endured. Yet through collective grief, a sense of unity and strength emerged. Memorials and monuments were erected to honor the victims and heroes of the explosion, ensuring that their stories would never be forgotten. The legacy of the Halifax explosion is one of resilience and renewal. It stands as a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity. Today, Halifax is a vibrant and thriving city, its history woven into the fabric of its identity. As we remember the events of December 6, 1917, we are reminded of the power of community and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The lessons learned from this catastrophe have shaped the city and its people, leaving a legacy of hope and perseverance. The story of the Halifax explosion is one of both tragedy and triumph. But, as with many historical events, not all questions have been answered. Despite extensive investigations, some mysteries remain. Were all causes truly uncovered? The collision between the SS Mont-Blanc and the SS Emo was deemed an accident, but could human error have played a larger role? Were there warning signs that were missed or ignored? And what about the scale of the devastation? Could it have been minimized? Some argue that better communication and safety protocols could have prevented such a massive loss of life and property. Others believe that the explosion was inevitable, given the circumstances. These lingering questions invite us to delve deeper into the history of that fateful day, to speculate, to research, and to seek our own understanding of the events that transpired. As we ponder these mysteries, we are reminded of the importance of vigilance, preparedness, and the lessons that history has to offer. The Halifax explosion may be a century-old event, but its legacy continues to shape our world. What do you think? Could more have been done to prevent this disaster, or was it an unavoidable tragedy? As we move forward, we mustn't forget the lessons of the past. The Halifax explosion, though often overshadowed by other historical events, remains a haunting and unresolved tragedy. We've explored the devastation, the heroism, and the lingering mysteries. Nearly 2,000 lives lost, a city shattered, and countless stories of survival and bravery. But, more than a century later, the questions persist. Could better communication have prevented this disaster? Was it truly an unavoidable tragedy? Or could more have been done to protect the people of Halifax? The Halifax explosion is a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of vigilance. It's a story that continues to resonate, urging us to reflect on our preparedness and our responsibilities. As we remember this forgotten tragedy, we honor those who suffered and those who rose to rebuild. Their legacy is a call to action for us all, to learn, to question, and to never forget. The Halifax explosion may have faded from the forefront of our collective memory, but its impact endures. Let us keep this story alive, not just as a piece of history, but as a lesson for the future. Thank you for watching, and for remembering with us. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring.